Hey everybody, it's Faith Speaks, and I have my special guest today, Michelle. But guess what? It's not about me today. Well, I guess it is about me.
Yeah.
It's about... Michelle's going to interview me, guys. If you don't know who she is a mighty woman of God. She's a realtor. She's an author. She's a mother. She's a wife. She's a sister. She's an auntie. She's my best friend. Guys, guess what? She's going to interview me today. I can't wait to see what she's going to ask me. Because normally, I'm the one that's spearing out the questions and the topics, but it's my turn to be on display. In the hot seat. So let's get it started.
Yes. So first of all, Faith, thank you for that wonderful introduction from Miss Faith herself. Faith Speaks. You guys know her, okay? You've seen her throughout the Chicagoland. Always on a platform, always encouraging someone else, songwriter, the list goes on. But I don't want to do the interview before the interview, so here we go. So, Faith. So here we are, 2021.
Yes.
So much time has gone by since actually we first met.
Mm-hmm.
How many years has it been?
It's been over 12 years.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so I know, wait, let me make sure. Because I know Faith, you guys know.
Girl, boo.
So Faith, she's the hairstylist extraordinaire.
And so are you. I forgot that. She's a hairstylist too, see?
On top of so many other things. So, Faith, here we are in 2021. What are you springing into? Here we are, we actually headed to May, but before May, what's been going on?
Well, what's been going on? Well, as some of you may or may not know, I just recently moved to Georgia, and it has been an amazing transition. So many people have horror stories on how they moved and it's not what they thought it was going to be, but God has been faithful to my family and I, and I'm just so grateful that we transitioned the way that we did, and I was obedient to the transition, and so here I am.
Wow. So, you know what, I think everybody is probably wondering, what sparked that move? What brought you to Georgia?
Ultimately, I have been thinking about it for years. And I got multiple prophetic words that God's going to launch me out. And one of the places was going to be Atlanta. And so I was like, okay. I always said I'll move, when the time is right or when I get married or whatever. But one day I was sitting and taking care of some legal business.
Okay.
And a woman, she sat in front of me. And she turned around and she said, the Lord brought you to this place because he's pushing you out. And
pushing you out where? Oh, pushing you out to
move to Atlanta.
Wow.
Those were her exact words. And I looked at her, and I'd never seen this woman before. But at that point, I knew that God was saying it's time to go, because he had to send a stranger to confirm what he already spoke to me.
Wow. Faith. And actually, that was a huge step of faith. And, just knowing you during the time when you were actually thinking about moving, a lot of great things were happening for you. I think you had already been working at several radio stations.
Mm-hmm.
And, so what were some of the things you were working on? And, how did you decide, okay, you know what, I'm going to close these doors and I'm going to step out?
Well, they said one thing is contingent on another. I did work at one of the third largest marketplace radio stations in Chicago, and I had opportunity to be a morning producer of the radio show, and it was great. I learned a lot. I met a lot of important people. I was also able to bring a lot of my friends and people that I've connected with throughout the years to the radio to be on, that particular show. And then I woke up one morning and, hey.
Start putting the pieces together.
Indeed.
Wow. So who are some of the, because I know that you actually studied at Chicago State University,
mm-hmm.
and even prior to that, you were at Kennedy King College.
Yes.
And so you've been actually taking this journey in broadcasting and media for quite some time.
Yes.
And you were able to actually intern with some of the hottest voices, actually, right?
Yeah.
In the city of Chicago. So, what was that like?
It's been amazing. I've had, again, some amazing mentors, Marcella Jones being one of them.
Yeah.
Currently, Perry Williams, World Communication Institute.
Okay.
Get at him. Alvin Daniels. I've had Troy Tyler at Chicago State. Joe Soto. I mean, I've just had so many radio personalities that have influenced me even before I went to school. Like, these people were people I aspired to be like, and then I met them. And that was just even more exciting.
Wow. Faith. So you guys know this is a woman of faith. And I know a lot of people ask you, how do you balance everything? She has so many gifts, you know. You guys, some of you may know, she's also, again, I said, an extraordinary hairstylist. And so, you know, one might ask, well, why did you choose? Are you choosing media over hair, or how do you blend the two? You know, so how have you been able to do that?
Wow. So, well, first let me say, music is my first love. Growing up in the church, my sister and I, my father would put us up before the church and we would sing, and I just had a love for music. And that's one gift. But then as I got older, maybe around 10 or 11, I started finding myself looking at books that had, you know, women's hair on there. My mother would have them on a cocktail table, and it would show their faces and their shape and their hairstyles. And I'm like, oh, I want to do that. So I started practicing on myself.
At 10 years old.
At 10 years old. By the time I was 11, I was...
At 10 years old, I probably had a baby doll. I was trying to put a few barrettes on. So at 10 years old, you say you started with your family doing hair.
Doing hair, my mother's hair, my sister's hair, and then it moved to the neighborhood. People, hey, can I do your hair? And they said, I'll pay you. And you never see them again.
Wow.
And then one day, my sister Sonia really encouraged me. She said, Faith, you're a shampoo girl. You can make the same money that these hairstylists are making because you can do hair. And I went to school.
Wow.
Mm-hmm.
And so I know, you know, you have, okay, so were you the only one in your family, you know, that kind of had that hand or that anointing to do hair?
Actually, no. My auntie, my Aunt Joyce, she's a professional hairstylist. I have two brothers that are barbers. Currently, my niece, Deja, is a hairstylist. She actually works at the salon I just left in Chicago. So it's in our DNA.
Okay. And you know what? I know your father. So he's a music kind of expert, right, in his day. Well, maybe you can just share a little bit more. But I know that you said that, you know, your father would play these records and you would hear these songs all the time. Tell us more.
God brought it back to my memory that my father used to take us to the radio station, and he was a pastor. So he would have these radio talk shows, and he would bring us to the studio. I don't think I ever sung at the radio station, but I know my brother Isaac did. And then my love for radio even began when I was a child, because my mother was very strict on what we could watch on television. So the radio was the thing I went to. Peter Popoff, listening to classical music. I mean, I love the radio. I would go to sleep to it. And I found out my father also went to barber college when he was in the Army.
What? So here it is, you guys, the best of both worlds.
Yes.
And we have an opportunity to get it all. You know, every time, you know, we see one of your posts, you know, here it is. It's like all eyes. Everybody want to hear, what does Faith have to say? Faith is about to speak.
Aww.
Let's hear what she has to say. Wow. So, how, you know, I know you said at 11 years old, you know, you were doing hair. You know, how was it as because you do have children, right? Mm-hmm. How was it, you know, as a mom, just kind of trying to figure things out, and you know, what was that journey about? So did you go to hair school after high school, or?
Well, my founding decision was when I found out I was expecting with my first child, Imani.
Okay.
I said, I need a career. I need some stability financially. And so hair was my go-to.
Okay.
And that's what sparked that.
And then you were at Kennedy King College as well, right?
Yeah, so I was able to get my cosmetology license first by taking a test called Ability to Benefit. Why? Because I did not have my GED.
Oh, wow.
I got kicked out of high school in my junior year, and from there I continued to go to these alternative schools that didn't help me actually, because I was still young, peer pressure, hey, easy way to cut or not go at all. And so moving forward, I went to, balancing children throughout this process. While I was in hair school, I had my second child. And then at this point, I said, I really, really need to get my GED, because it was one of those things where I was good at everything else, but however, this dark cloud of not having my GED hovered over me. Long story short, entered into this program, and it was a year program, and I studied for my GED. But guess what? I failed. I failed the math portion again for like the 5th time.
That had to be
Devastating.
and discouraging.
Devastating.
So were you a single mom at this time?
Still single mom.
Okay.
On my second child. With my third children being already in existence. And then once I took the test again, I found out I was expecting again.
Wow. Okay.
And I had a very encouraging tutor who said, Faith, you got this. He prayed for me. And that particular year, I passed.
Shout outs to you, tutor. You know who you are.
Yes. Mr. Ford.
Yes. Wow. Okay.
And not only that, the program that I started with that helped me get my GED the first time, I had 2 graduations in 1 month. So, Kennedy King.
So that was a reason to celebrate.
Yes.
You had your children right there with you to celebrate.
Yeah.
Okay. I don't know if we should call you Faith Speaks or Miss Relentless.
Miss Relentless, I'll take it.
Yes, and so that actually, so I know, a lot of times when we hear you, we can feel the passion. It's almost like, Faith is the girl next door. She's like everything you need in that moment when you're watching her. And so it's like she's almost like a chameleon, in a way that she, not hides. She doesn't hide herself, but it's like she's so approachable. I think everybody feels like they've been knowing Faith, whether they, just met her for a day or a month, a year, It's like I feel like I've been knowing you my whole life. I've introduced you to friends of my own. And, they met Faith and they say, I really like her, Michelle. I was like, okay, well, you could be her friend too. No problem.
Yeah. That's how it happens.
Wow. So, what, so I know that I believe it was a year or 2 years ago, you actually released one of your first singles.
Yes.
Okay. See, you guys, we're going to unpack it all today, okay?
Yes. So I wrote the song Be Made Whole years ago. When I say years ago, it might have been 5 years prior to me releasing the book in 2017, Will You Be Made Whole? A Journey from Brokenness to Freedom. But the single was my testimony. It was my testimony of me being broken as a single mother, as a single woman, being in and out of relationships that were unfruitful, not in the sense of us being together, but the children came forth, and that was a blessing. That was the miracle out of the relationships. However, me being a woman and being emotional, I just felt broken because I kept repeating cycles that hindered me in certain areas, so allowing God to restore me and bounce back from everything, that's when the song was birthed.
Wow.
That's when the song was birthed. Be Made Whole.
Be made whole. And will you be made whole? Is that the actual book?
That's the book.
Okay, book. Will You Be Made Whole? And I actually read the book from front to back. Yes, I did. And I tell you, there are so many nuggets. You know, you ever have actually purchased a book and, you know, you have your mindset that I'm going to read it from beginning to end, and, you know, life gets in the way or you're distracted. And, you know, some of us, we go back to pick up the book. But I can say, Will You Be Made Whole? It's so many nuggets in that book. It's so many things that you can take away. So many things that some of you might even be able to relate to. I'm telling you, it's a quick read, but it's everything that you need right there at your fingertips. So, Faith, you know, great job.
Thank you.
I'm actually looking for more books. We
Oh,
all are. And you also wrote a book for your clients or for people that would like to maintain healthy hair. Is that correct?
Yes, the second book was released a year later, entitled How to Maintain Healthy Hair at Home. And I wrote that book like when I was in hair school.
Okay.
You know, it started out on a piece of copy and paper and a pencil, and me just jotting down little things about hair care. And God, you know, introduced me to a woman of God who was also an author, who showed me how to package my vision. And so the first book came, the second book came, and I'm working on the third one.
Oh, wow. You know, wow is my word for Miss Faith here. Faith speaks. So, okay, with all of this that's going on, you know, what's going on in your, you know, relationship-wise, or, you know, what's happening? You know, where are you now, you know, on your journey? Are you actually dating, or is anything, you know?
Yes, I am dating this amazing man.
Okay.
His name is Jesus. Jesus Christ.
Stop.
The anointed one. Some of you may know him.
I don't mean to laugh so hard.
No,
because I understand.
that's
Yeah,
great.
Definitely.
I am focused on the things of God right now in my personal life. Relationship, dating will come along. Right now, that's not my focus. I want to build my relationship with the Lord even stronger in this next dispensation. And so that's what I'm doing.
Okay, well, hey, we'll take that. So, okay, let me just ask one more question.
Sure.
Okay, do you have a non-negotiable, you know, like something that you like, you know what, it's a non-negotiable, he must be, or he must, do you have one or two you would like to share? Because, I mean, I think it's important. I mean, we are getting to know Faith, but, you know, sometimes these things aren't talked about, and from my conversations with you, you know, I've seen how much you've grown in wisdom, but also, you know, just very transparent, you know, and whole and healed.
Yeah.
So, you know, let everybody else know.
My non-negotiable, he has to love God. He has to love God more than he loves me.
Yes.
And
You heard that, right? Don't DM her. Don't DM her now. That she got that number one quality.
yeah. And one of my main other factors is he has to be a man of prayer, because to every situation, to every problem, the solution should be prayer. And so just as I'm interceding for our family, he needs to be able to lead and intercede for us as well, so we can grow and build this kingdom family which God intended.
Wow. Okay. So where do you see your career going, you know, from here? Because you're in the ATL now, you're in Georgia. You know, the Peach State, we all know that. And, of course, there are a lot of voices here, you know, a lot of, you know, musicians, you know, artists, and, you know, so this is the place to be right now. That's what they say. But, of course, I know Chicago will always be home.
Always.
You always love, you know, your loved ones, family, and friends back in Chicago. But what's cooking, or where do you see your career taking off, or where would you like to go? You know what? Yeah, I would say, where do you see yourself, and where would you like it to go?
I believe the path that God is going to take me down is media, music, and ministry. That is the 3 M's in my life right now. And then from there, we're going to spark the marketplace.
Ooh,
We're going to influence
4 M's.
Listen.
So, media,
music, and ministry. Not in those particular order.
I know, but media, music, ministry, and the marketplace.
That's it. That's it. Because the world, all of those are 4 things that can influence people to positivity, to success, to know Jesus, to put them in the right perspective. Because when you hear something and when you see something and when you connect with somebody, those things are important. Those are important. And so media, music, ministry, all the 4 M's going to lead to the marketplace, because the Bible tells us to go ye out into the world to preach the gospel to every creature. So I want to cover all bases, and God's going to give me the wisdom to do it.
And you know what? You have all the gifts. You have the character, first and foremost. I mean, I think this is constant. I hear this all the time. Like, Faith is the most consistent person, friend, personality that you've ever seen. I mean, you know, I know, of course, she has days where maybe she's not as happy, and, you know, it's definitely not a facade. But she has learned to really balance, really take a hold of her emotions without her emotions controlling, you know, a situation. I see her do it all the time. I was like, if this one thing that I admire about you, Faith, is that you are so consistent with your emotions, with your personality. I mean, you always show up in your faith, and
Wow.
you are Faith.
Wow.
You know, how can we support you? How can family, friends, you know, supporters, those that love you, and they're watching right now, you know, what are some of the ways they can support you?
First of all, you can always support me in prayer, and that's a great attribute that someone can do, is pray for you and intercede for you, that, you know, God's hand will be upon you. Also, you can subscribe to my YouTube channel, Faith Speaks TV.
Okay, wait, hold on one second, Faith, not to interrupt you. You guys, I want you to hear, listen, but I want you to be very deliberate. So let's make sure we listen to these next steps and let us actually follow through, okay? As soon as this interview concludes, or if you have your laptop or phone with you, make sure you actually do that. Now go ahead.
Yes. Again, YouTube, Faith Speaks TV. Make sure you subscribe. All of my video content, things that I do, places that I go, will be uploaded there first. Then you can follow me on Facebook, Faith Speaks. Also, if you want to book me for a women's conference, public speaking engagement, you can email me at faithspeak17@gmail.com. FAITHSPEAK, the number 17@gmail.com. Or you can follow me on Instagram. All things Faith Speaks.
Wow. We're going to make sure we have that information for you to be able to follow up, and, you know, and so Faith, just before we close, you know, you actually touched on ministry, and I have seen you, you know, witness to young ladies out in the, you know, just out in the neighborhood, in the community. I've seen you, you know, you double dutch with other organizations. I mean, any way that you can get your voice, or you can reach someone, I've seen you do that. And so ministry, you are, I mean, when I tell you, you are, that's like the bull's eye. I really believe that through ministry, God is going to send you out as an arrow, truly, to be able to reach the world, that you might be a voice for Him. And you have proven to be one that is trustworthy, to be able to do that. You know, some people, they see the lights, camera, action, and I've seen your videos and photos. We all have. I mean, some of the stars that she's been able to connect with, I mean, wherever she shows up, it's like someone that, you know, is in the limelight, someone that's famous, a big name, you know, is there. She meets them. She wins tickets. So I know you've met Fred Hammond, Clark sisters.
Yes, CC Whining.
CC Whining.
Dietrich Haddon.
Yeah. And you've interviewed, someone you interviewed recently too,
Kiara
right?
Sheard.
Okay.
I've interviewed her once before.
Okay.
Yeah.
See, look, all the gospel great. So you guys heard it. So it's like, all of these doors are just going to allow us to be able to see just more of who Faith is, and she's going to be able to provide so much laughter. Everybody knows if you watch Faith, you're going to laugh. She is the life of the party. Faith speaks. Just a little faith is all you need. We've heard that for years and years. I got a t-shirt that said.
Come on.
I know, okay? I still wear my t-shirt. Faith speaks. So is there anything else you want to share, actually, before we actually, say goodbye, but that really means not goodbye until next time?
I just want to share, I just want to say thank you. Thank you, first of all, to Michelle. You've been an amazing friend, sister, support system. Even when we were getting ready for this production, I was like, sis, I ain't gonna tell you what she said, but she's open, she's honest, and I appreciate that. I appreciate you believing in me. And I also appreciate everyone out there who has supported me throughout the years, through my journey. I just want to give back. I want to see the best in people with whatever I do. Encouraging words, sharing a pair of earrings, buying them lunch. Whatever I can do, I just want to give back. And so this is one of the things that God has called me to do. And I just can't wait to continue my process.
So you guys hear that, right? Because you know somebody that knows somebody, okay? Whoever hears this. And of course, she don't accept anything now, but the thing is that I believe that there is someone out there that may even hear this video that, knows someone or can allow her to even have another opportunity, because we know that God will open the door.
Yes.
But I actually want to say, hey, if you're out there and you know that you have something that will be able to support or help Faith go to the next level, you guys, listen. If you want, she has all of the videos, and what is it when they ask you to send in like your whole
air checks, reels, all that good stuff? Because I forgot to mention, ultimately, I want my own television show, syndicated show. That's what I want, and I want to be able to share other people, entrepreneurs, business women, just ordinary people, because everybody has a story, and I want to be the one to bring out the best in their story so they can help somebody else.
Okay, well, we can end on that. I have nothing else to say, you guys, so you know who you are, and most importantly, thank you to everyone that actually tuned in and took the time. And you know what? I encourage you guys to inbox her, message, however it's actually going to be more information for you to contact her, DM her with some of the things, some of the ideas you may have, or how you would like to support her, and what would you like to hear more of?
Yes.
Okay? Because she has her name, Faith Speaks. We all know that. And so, guess what? She's ready. The whole city of Chicago has been ready and is ready, and even other states. We just want to send a shout out to the other places too. I know it's more than Chicago and Georgia. You got people
Florida,
everywhere.
Arkansas, Kentucky, Maryland. Listen, I'm global.
All right then. Okay, you guys.
Well, thank you for joining us today. Remember, just a little bit of faith is all you need. Hey. Woo.